அகிலத்தின் அன்பான சொந்தங்களுக்கு இணைய வணக்கம். மீனவர் காலையினூடாக சந்தித்திருக்கின்றோம். பாலஸ்தீன வரலாற்றில் மிக முக்கியமான ஒரு வரலாற்று தருணமாக நேற்றைய தினம் ஐக்கிய நாடுகள் பொதுச்சபையில் பாலஸ்தீன தனிநாட்டுக்கான கோரிக்கை பெரும்பாலான நாடுகளின் வாக்குகளுடன் நிறைவேற்றப்பட்டிருக்கின்றது. ஏறக்குறைய 142 நாடுகள் இதற்கு ஆதரவாக வாக்களித்திருக்கின்றார்கள். வெறும் 10 நாடுகள் மட்டும் இதற்கு எதிராக வாக்களித்திருக்கின்றார்கள். குறிப்பாக இஸ்ரேல், அமெரிக்கா, அர்ஜென்டினா உட்பட 10 நாடுகளை தவிர ஏறக்குறைய அனைத்து நாடுகளுமே இதற்கு ஆதரவாக வாக்களித்திருக்கின்றார்கள். 12 நாடுகள் வாக்களிப்பில் கலந்து கொள்ளாமல் வெளியேறியிருக்கின்றார்கள். எனவே மிகப்பெரிய உலகின் ஆதரவுடன் பாலஸ்தீன தனித்தாயகம் அமைக்கப்பட வேண்டும் என்ற கோரிக்கை நிறைவேற்றப்பட்டிருக்கின்றது. இது தொடர்பில் பல்வேறுபட்ட நாடுகளும் பல்வேறுபட்ட கருத்துக்களை தெரிவித்திருக்கின்றார்கள்.
The voting has been completed. Please lock the machine.
The result of the vote is...
அதிலும் குறிப்பாக இந்த தீர்மானத்தை கொண்டு வந்திருக்கக்கூடிய பிரான்ஸ், சவுதி அரேபியா போன்ற நாடுகள் இது பாலஸ்தீன வரலாற்றில் ஒரு மிகப்பெரிய மைல்கல் என்று தெரிவித்திருக்கின்றார்கள். அதேபோல் பல்வேறுபட்ட நாடுகள் பாலஸ்தீனர்களுடைய நீண்ட நெடிய துன்பம், துயரம் மிகுந்த வலி, போராட்டம் என்பதற்கு பின்னால் பாலஸ்தீன தேசம் உலகின் பெரும்பாலான நாடுகளால் அங்கீகரிக்கப்பட்டிருக்கின்றது. அதிலும் குறிப்பாக இஸ்ரேல், அமெரிக்காவினுடைய அச்சுறுத்தல்களை மீறி அமெரிக்கா நேரடியாகவே பல ஐரோப்பிய நாடுகளுக்கு பாலஸ்தீனத்தை அங்கீகரிக்கக்கூடாது, ஐநா வாக்கெடுப்பில் நீங்கள் எதிராக வாக்களிக்க வேண்டும் என்று கோரிக்கை விடுத்த போதிலும் கூட அதையெல்லாம் மீறி பாலஸ்தீனர்களுக்கு தனித்தாயகம் ஒன்றே தீர்வு என வாக்களித்திருப்பது பாலஸ்தீன மக்களினுடைய வரலாற்றில் மிக முக்கியமான தருணமாக பார்க்கப்படுகின்றது. இஸ்ரேல், அமெரிக்கா தனித்து விடப்பட்டிருக்கின்றார்கள். உலகளவில் அவர்கள் காசாவில் எவ்வளவு படுகொலைகளை, குற்றங்களை இந்த சியோனிச கும்பலும் அமெரிக்காவில் நிறைவேற்றினால் கூட உலக அரங்கில் அவர்கள் தனித்து விடப்பட்டிருக்கின்றார்கள். பாலஸ்தீனர்கள் உலக நாடுகளால் மிக பெரிய அளவில் ஆதரிக்கப்பட்டிருக்கின்றார்கள் என்பதை இந்த விடயம் தெளிவாக காட்டியிருக்கின்றது. இந்த சூழ்நிலையில் பாலஸ்தீனர்களுடைய தனிநாட்டு கோரிக்கை நிறைவேற்றப்பட்ட ஐநா அமர்வு தொடர்பான பல்வேறுபட்ட காணொளி பதிவுகளையும் ஐநாவில் பல்வேறுபட்ட நாடுகளுடைய தலைவர்கள் ஆற்றிய உரைகளையும் இந்த தொகுப்பில் நேரடியாக பார்க்கலாம். இது சார்ந்த உங்களுடைய மதிப்பான கருத்துக்களை தவறாமல் கமெண்ட்ஸில் பதிவிடுங்கள். மீண்டும் அடுத்த காணொளியில் சந்திப்போம். நன்றி, வணக்கம்.
Thank you. I thank the distinguished representative of the United States. We have heard the last speaker in the explanation of vote before vote. The Assembly will now take a decision on draft resolution A/AD/L1/Revision 1 entitled Endorsement of the New York Declaration on the Peaceful Settlement of the Question of Palestine and the Implementation of the Two-State Solution. A recorded vote has been requested. We shall now begin the voting process. Those in favor of draft resolution A/AD/L1/Revision 1, please signify. Those against? Abstentions.
The General Assembly is now voting on draft resolution A/AD/L1/Revision 1 entitled Endorsement of the New York Declaration on the peaceful settlement of the question of Palestine and the implementation of the two-state solutions. Will all delegations confirm that their votes are accurately reflected on the screen? The voting has been completed. Please lock the machine.
The result of the vote is as follows. In favor, 142. Against, 10. Abstentions, 12. Draft resolution A/80/L1/Revision 1 is adopted. Before giving the floor for explanations of vote after the vote, may I remind delegations again that they are strongly urged to limit explanation of vote to 5 minutes, which should in any case not exceed 10 minutes, and be made from their seats. I give the floor to the distinguished representative of Bulgaria.
Madam President, Bulgaria has supported the resolution we have just adopted and would like to reaffirm its principled support for the right of the Palestinian people to self-determination and for the establishment of an independent, democratic and viable state of Palestine, living side by side in peace and security with Israel. We recall that Bulgaria recognized the state of Palestine in 1988 and has consistently contributed to efforts aimed at achieving a peaceful two-state solution in line with international law and relevant UN resolutions. Bulgaria once again calls for an immediate ceasefire and the release of all hostages, as well as for urgent measures to alleviate the dire humanitarian situation in Gaza. We strongly condemn the terrorist acts of Hamas and stress the necessity of its permanent exclusion from the political realm. Bulgaria reiterates its unequivocal condemnation of terrorism in all its forms and manifestations, regardless of its objectives. Terrorism must never be associated with any faith, religion, or ethnicity. A coordinated international response remains essential in this regard. We expect all parties involved to adhere to this clear and consistent position. At the same time, Bulgaria acknowledges the complexity of implementing the two-state solution in the current political context. Certain elements of the declaration, including institutional reforms, electoral processes, and regional security mechanisms, will require further clarification and the establishment of reliable mechanisms to ensure their effectiveness. We underscore the importance of broad legitimacy and internal consensus within Palestinian society, as well as the constructive involvement of all relevant regional and international stakeholders. In closing, Bulgaria expresses its appreciation for the efforts of France and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in rallying the international community behind the two-state solution. Thank you.
I thank the representative of Bulgaria, and I give the floor to the Kingdom of the Netherlands.
Thank you, Madam President. I thank you for convening us today, and I have the honor to deliver this explanation of vote on behalf of the Kingdom of the Netherlands. The Kingdom of the Netherlands expresses its gratitude to France and Saudi Arabia for convening the conference on the two-state solution. The New York Declaration contains important elements, such as the support for the right of self-determination of the Palestinian people, in line with the ICJ advisory opinion of 19th of July 2024 and the rejection of any territorial reduction. We reiterate that Hamas is a terrorist organization, and we welcome the condemnation of the terrorist attacks committed on the 7th of October and the call to immediately and unconditionally release all hostages. Hamas must be disarmed and cannot be part of any future government in Gaza. The Kingdom of the Netherlands welcomes the clear support for the New York Declaration and the resumption of the conference during High-Level Week. The Kingdom of the Netherlands wishes to underline the need to stand together on the issue of this two-state solution, and we condemn the illegal E1 settlement plan, effectively splitting the occupied West Bank in two. These plans constitute a clear violation of international law, and unilateral steps like these further undermine the viability of a future Palestinian state. The Kingdom of the Netherlands also strongly condemns plans that would amount to annexation to a large part of the West Bank, which would also constitute a flagrant violation of international law. We call on Israel not to take any steps toward annexation. We call on all parties to the conflicts to comply with their obligations under international law, in particular international humanitarian law. An independent, viable Palestinian state existing alongside a secure Israel is the only way this conflict can be resolved. We must persist in our decades-long pursuit of a two-state solution. For the Kingdom of the Netherlands, the recognition of a Palestinian state must be part of a political process leading to a negotiated two-state solution. I thank you.
I thank the representative of the Kingdom of the Netherlands. I give the floor now to Lithuania.
Thank you, Madam President. I would like to deliver this explanation of vote after the vote on behalf of Lithuania. Lithuania thanks the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and France for their efforts to organize the high-level international conference for the peaceful settlement of the question of Palestine and the implementation of the two-state solution. We would also like to thank the co-chairs of the working groups for their work and the collective action to revive a political process in this regard towards a just, peaceful, and lasting settlement of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Lithuania voted in favor of the draft resolution entitled "The Endorsement of the New York Declaration on the Peaceful Settlement of the Question of Palestine and the Implementation of the Two-State Solution." However, our endorsement does not extend to the annex of the outcome document. It does not prejudge any sovereign decision by the Republic of Lithuania regarding recognition of the State of Palestine. Madam President, implementation of the two-state solution implies worldwide recognition of two states, Israel and Palestine. Lithuania recalls its statement during the first session of the high-level international conference for the peaceful settlement of the question of Palestine and the implementation of the two-state solution in July 2025. In particular, Lithuania expects that a way can be found to address legitimate Israeli concerns and have them join this process in the future. Furthermore, Lithuania calls for international consensus that by resorting to terrorism and hostage-taking, Hamas has become a major obstacle to the two-state solution and they cannot be part of the future Palestinian state. Lithuania continues to call for a peaceful settlement of Israeli-Palestinian conflict achieved through negotiations and reflecting the interests of both parties, the region and the international community, based on international law and in line with the United Nations Security Council Resolution 2735 of 2024. Lithuania remains committed to support the implementation of the two-state solution and intends to participate in the further international efforts in this regard. I thank you, Madam President.
I thank the representative of Lithuania. I give the floor now to Slovakia, followed by Paraguay, and followed by Marshall Islands.
Thank you, Madam President. Slovakia wishes to express its appreciation for the efforts undertaken in the preparation of the New York Declaration. We recognize the potential of the Declaration in promoting a comprehensive, just and durable peace in the Middle East. Having in mind a current desperate situation in Gaza, Slovakia has voted to endorse the New York Declaration. Nonetheless, we would like to take this opportunity to clarify that our endorsement does not extend to the annex attached to the declaration. This position reflects our current considerations regarding some of the proposals and recommendations included in the annex and does not preclude our future engagement or dialogue on its contents. We also remain committed to constructive and continued dialogue with all partners, including the United States and Israel, on a post-conflict arrangement in Gaza, one in which all hostages are released, Hamas is disarmed, and is excluded from any role. Thank you very much for your attention.
I thank the representative of Slovakia and give the floor to Paraguay.
Nuestra delegación aboga por la paz y la armonía entre las naciones y reafirma que el camino del entendimiento y el diálogo y la negociación son los adecuados, siempre y cuando incluya a todas las partes comprendidas. El Paraguay